Good evening, or if it's good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are in the world, then that applies as well. But welcome to our pre-match discussion for the visit of Manchester United to London Stadium tomorrow, 2 o'clock kickoff, UK time. Joining me today to discuss it, Steve 50. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thank you, Gatesy. Yep, good week. Beautiful weather today. Nothing to complain about. Yourself?
Can't be bad. Yeah, not bad. It's all good. Before we start discussions about the match that's coming up, please don't forget, guys, to drop a like on the stream. It really does help the channel out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when we upload it to the channel. So, Steve, small matter of some team from Manchester rocking up at London Stadium tomorrow. I'm not too sure if you might have heard of them. 20-time champions of England, 3 times champions of Europe. Manchester United, with some bloke called Cristiano Ronaldo, who's spearheading their attack now.
Yeah, what you mean, that Sunday League side?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, first time I saw West Ham play, and again, this is my age talking, West Ham play Man U was the 76-77 season, and we beat them 4-2 to stay in the league. Evening, Andy. To stay in the league. It was quite handy, actually. Man U had the FA Cup the following weekend, but my initial experience of Man U was West Ham whopping them off the pitch. Unfortunately, that has not been the case since. But
no.
Yeah, what do I think of Man U? I think they're a great side, massive history. Yeah. We all love to hate them, but let's be fair. Good team. And under Alex Ferguson, they were immense.
So, superb.
Yeah.
Superb.
So here we go. Our biannual trying to kick lumps out of Man United just to get a point is coming up as usual.
Well, let's get up on the screen for people to have a look at what my thoughts are on the team that we're going to kick out. I'm just going to go full screen with that and then get rid of that banner there. Okay, so I rather suspect Fabianski will start tomorrow. I don't know, because it's really weird, because sort of like I was expecting, as I suppose a lot of other people were, that it was going to be Areola between the sticks on Thursday, and then it would be Fabianski coming back in for this game. But Fabianski started, so I'm sort of like, well, does that mean that Areola's going to start tomorrow, or is Fabianski? Because I didn't realise there was a comment that Duke said when we did the post-match for the Zagreb game. Duke turned around and said that apparently David Moyes was asked the question why Areola didn't start, and the response was that Areola wasn't ready, which I found quite an odd comment, to be honest. I mean,
Well, it is, isn't it? But you know what Moyes is like. Until that player is exactly what he wants and he's completely confident in them, they're not getting in our first team.
Yeah.
You look at all the players against Zagreb and the changes that were made. Oh, they all fitted in seamlessly. That was one of the most complete West Ham performances I've ever seen. And every single player knew the system. Every single player knew how to play in it. And every single player played in it superbly. And that's what Moyes wants from his players, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, as I say, I'm not too sure. It's a little bit. Is it going to be Fabianski? Is it going to be Areola? I suspect it's going to be Fabianski, but we'll see. It may well be that it's Areola. We shall find out tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the teams are announced. But I don't think the rest of it is going to be too much of a shock. I think it's going to be back 4 from left to right: Cresswell, Ogbonna, Zuma, and Tufal. I rather suspect in front of them, again, not really sort of too much of a shock. It would be Thomas Solskjær and the captain Declan Rice alongside him. Then this is where it could be a little bit of a conversation piece. Now, obviously, I think it's fairly safe to say that Jared Bowen will be moved from his usual slot of right of the offensive midfield 3, and he'll be the number 9. And so Who will come in and replace him? Well, I suspect it will be Ryan Fredericks. I suspect that he will come in as a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of protection for Vladimir Tufal, in the same way that he came in against Aston Villa to try and do a job on Jack Grealish, which they did. I rather suspect that Fredericks has done enough to keep a starting berth in the team for his exploits in Zagreb, but we'll see. I think that Fornals will be on the left, same as usual, for his work rate, for the protection that he offers Aaron Cresswell on the left. So if Mr. Ronaldo decides he wants to go on a foray left or right, he's got quite a bit of traffic in front of him, and it's maybe going to be a bit more difficult for him than it otherwise might have been. But in the number 10 position, well, I'm torn between Vlasic or Lanzini. I think Lanzini, he didn't have a bad game against Zagreb, but he was
good.
Yeah, I mean, he unfortunately got the hook because of the booking that he got, and Mr. Moyes was trying to protect him. That's absolutely fair enough. But is it going to be Lanzini? Is it going to be Vlasic? I'm going with the £30 million man, but it could well be Lanzini. You never know. And then, like I say, Bowen up top as the spearhead. Your thoughts on that lineup?
Well, I'd be quite happy with that lineup. I mean, isn't it nice we've got a bit of strength in depth now, where we can chop and change and still look at that side and think there isn't a weak link there. I've got a feeling, and it's something I absolutely wouldn't do, but I've got a feeling Dawson might be in for Zuma.
Really?
Yeah, because Moyes is very loyal.
Okay.
The comparison between the two, there is no comparison. Look at what we paid for him. It's like buying a car. If you buy a Mini, you get the qualities of a Mini. You buy an Aston Martin, you get the qualities of an Aston Martin. And that is, I would start Zuma. Absolutely. I thought he was a real class act against Zagreb. All very quiet, all very composed, and you could just tell he knew what he was doing. So, yeah, I'd have Zuma. Up front, Fredericks, if Benrahma was injured, I think Fredericks is an excellent shout.
Yeah.
And I think even if Benrahma isn't injured, he could be a good shout just because of his pace. I mean, I was sitting here chatting to James, my son, during the Zagreb game, and Fredericks was running with the ball.
Yes.
And the Zagreb players without the ball were struggling to keep up with him. He was so quick. And, you just don't appreciate how rapid he is. My one thing is Vlasic. Now, how do you think he played against Zagreb? What were your opinions?
I got to be honest. I think it was probably quite hard for him. He's a former Hajduk Split player going to the home of his sort of like his big rivals, if you will. And I think he probably was trying too hard. If I'm being honest with you, it seemed like he was trying too hard to make a point.
Yeah,
that's how it seemed to me.
But again, it's difficult because if Benrahma was fit, I'd be tempted to put Benrahma there. We've seen Moyes do it again and again. He's got an expensive player. He's got a good player, but he makes them wait until they're right. So when they're out on that pitch, they're going to do what he wants, and it's going to add to the team. I'm not anti-Vlasic starting. I think he's going to turn out to be a terrific player for us.
Yeah.
But the reason I think he might not start is because he isn't quite yet moulded to the player Moyes wants him to be.
Yeah.
So my two there, and I certainly wouldn't drop Kurt Zouma. Please don't drop Kurt Zouma. He was superb. And Vlasic, I think Fredericks on the right wing, cracking call. I think he caused him a lot of trouble. And defensively, very strong. I thought he had a great game against Zagreb. I was really impressed.
Yeah. In answer to Mr. Walsh, your question, could I see a 4-3-3 with Bowen, Vlasic and Fornals as the front three? Yeah, I could. I could see it. I think it could be that we play both formations in the same game. I wouldn't be shocked if we're 4-2-3-1 or 4-5-1 when we're out of possession and defending, and it morphs into a 4-3-3 when we've got the ball and we're on the attack. But I mean, that's the thing, is sort of like, you know, the formation, the personnel that we've got, it's quite fluid. It's, you know, it's not. I mean, they could even put that lineup out there and play 3-5-2 or 3-6-1, you know, with Cresswell, Ogbonna, Zuma as the centre backs, and Vladimir Tufal and Pablo Fornals as the wing backs. You know, that really wouldn't shock me. You know, it can morph from, you know, one moment to the next. You know, different shapes in different situations during the game. So, but we'll see.
I tell you something. I think though. I think if Masuaku was fully match fit and on it, we might go 5 at the back.
Possible.
What will stop us going 5 at the back is Moyes, in his press conference, said, "Yeah, Masuaku's fit now, but he's still not match sharp."
Yeah.
You can't afford to have players out there against the likes of, you know, this wannabe Ronaldo who is not sharp.
No, he will tear you a new one. So we'll go on to the Manchester United 11 that I suspect will take to the pitch. Again, I'll go full screen and get rid of that banner. Excuse me. So I rather suspect it will be David De Gea in goal. I'd be incredibly shocked if it's not. Back 4, no shocks there. Luke Shaw on the left, Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right, and your centre-backs will be Harry Maguire and Rafael Varane. Paul Pogba just in front. Who his midfield partner will be? I mean, I've gone for Fred, but I wouldn't be shocked if McTominay came in, but we'll see. Offensive midfield 3 from left to right, Sancho, Fernandes and Greenwood. Yes, I'm told it's pronounced Fernandes, apparently.
Really?
It's not pronounced Fernandes. Don't, you know, I'm not Portuguese. I haven't got a clue, but apparently it's Fernandes, not Fernandez, whatever.
Okay.
Up front, rather more easy to pronounce, Cristiano Ronaldo. We've all heard of him. 36 years of age and an absolute phenomenon. Taking my West Ham specs off for a moment, I can appreciate this. This is a guy that is arguably the greatest of all time. He is certainly, in my opinion, the greatest of his era, in my opinion. And I know that some people will be jumping up and down and saying, no, Messi's better than him. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm entitled to mine. And I just think that Ronaldo, he's done it in Portugal, he's done it in England, he's done it in Spain, he's done it in Italy. And now at the age of 36, he's coming back and testing himself in the toughest league in the world. And yeah, I mean, the guy's as fit as a fiddle. I mean, he signed a 2-year deal with an option to a third. So he'd be, what, 39? When that,
doing that.
And you can't, exactly. You don't look and go, he'll never make it. I mean, you look at the guy. I mean, I've seen more meat on a butcher's pencil. Honestly, he's like watching Bruce Lee. I mean, sort of like he's just ripped. He's absolutely shredded. Not an ounce of fat on the bloke, and he's super, super fit.
Bit like us, really, Gates.
You may very well say that. I could not possibly comment, and I know people sort of like turn around and say that he's not the Ronaldo of 5 years or ago, or 8 years ago or whatever, but he's still a ridiculously good player, isn't he, Steve?
Well, the Ronaldo, he may not be the Ronaldo of 5 years ago, but I think he's a slightly different player, and he's good enough to adjust his game to cope with the aging process. But let's face it, everybody goes, oh, he's not what he was. He makes every single first team across Europe, doesn't he?
I'd say so.
So you turn around and you go, well, he's not the player. Well, he's still good enough by a long way. One of the things, James and I are really looking forward to tomorrow, and this is as a West Ham fan, is watching him play live.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see somebody who is just head and shoulders above all other footballers grace our stadium. Yeah, it's like if Messi was playing, we'd all go to watch Messi as well, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Do I think he's better than Messi? Actually, yes, I do, because I think You see, for me, it's not just about what a footballer does on the pitch; it's what they do off as well. And little known fact is he gives a huge amount of money to charity and good causes.
I'm sure Messi does as well. In fairness,
I'm sure Messi does. But he always conducts himself well. Ronaldo, he's got a fiery temperament, but that's a footballer. Oh, I can't wait to see him play. I know this sounds awful as a West Ham fan, and of course we want to win it tomorrow. But seeing him with the ball at his feet live is going to be something special.
I want to see him do his stuff. I want to see him do all the tricks. I want to see him do, impudent bits of skill that take the breath away and West Ham to win.
Yeah. I tell you what, it would be very interesting if he comes up against Declan Rice. That will be a real measure of how good Rice is. Because if Rice can contain Ronaldo, which I don't think he can, by the way, I don't think there's many I don't think there's any defensive midfielders in the world who can.
I don't know. I've got an image that's just come into my head. Do you remember that tackle that Bobby Moore did in the 1970 World Cup, where sort of like he was backing off, and then boom,
and then just
stuck a leg out, got the ball, and came away with the ball. I've got an image of instead of that being Bobby Moore, I've got that being Declan Rice. And he's jockeying back with Cristiano Ronaldo, and he just gets the ball, doesn't get a foul, gets the ball, and comes striding away with the ball. I've just got an image of that happening tomorrow.
I think Rice is a superb player, but I think Ronaldo is just another level. I think, when we were playing, what was it, Southampton? Somebody fooled Rice and dribbled past him. Okay, that's a very good Premier League player. You put that player up against Ronaldo, not a chance. He's the key man to stop if possible. If we can stop him, and don't ask me how. I mean, Allardyce had a good go. He put two players on Ronaldo, and he managed to hold him for 85 minutes of the game, but Ronaldo still popped up and scored the winner or something.
Yeah.
Though he did miss a penalty at Upton Park, didn't he, Ronaldo? One of the great moments. We won 2-1. Who was our defender? Matt Upson scored the winner.
Right. That was who was the manager? That was Zola, wasn't it? Was it Zola or was it Kirbishley?
I don't know. It was one of them, but Ronaldo had a penalty, and it was they were 1-up, and you're thinking, "Oh no, here we go."
Yeah,
and he missed it. And I think
that was then different set of circumstances, different set of players. So
I think there was stunned silence when he missed it. Actually, nobody could believe it. But if you can stop him, and I don't see how you do, but if you can, we're in with a shout.
Yeah. And you look at our head-to-head record there, Steve. I mean, and I showed you this before we hit record. That's actually not a bad record when you look at it. We've won 45, drawn 32, and lost 69. And we've got the sort of like the thin end of that particular wedge, but yes, that's actually not too bad. We've actually more than held our own there. You think about the side with them, the resources, the magnitude, the worldwide supporter base, everything that Manchester United have got, which, taking my West Ham specs off, Manchester United are a bigger club than us. They've got bigger financial firepower. They've got a bigger history. I don't like to admit it, but, 20 league titles and 3 European Cups and a World Club Cup. I can't really argue it, can I? I love my club, but it is what it is. But you sort of like you think, well, actually, despite that disadvantages that we've got, in the inferiority sort of thing, that's actually not a bad record over the years.
For a long while, the team United had the worst away record against was us. There's something about us playing United. We always get up for it. And I remember another great game in the late 70s where they crammed 40,000 into the Boleyn. And it was more than that because they actually had to get the fans to sit on the side of the pitch because they were so crammed in.
Yeah.
And we beat them 3-1, and Alan Taylor scored an absolutely brilliant header off a Mervyn Day long ball from the goal. It was a superb goal.
I bet the pitch was like a quagmire, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was fairly early in the season.
Oh, right.
So
Fair enough.
You know, those were the classic times when what have West Ham and Christmas decorations got in common? They both come down after Christmas.
Yeah.
Pitches got heavy. We couldn't play on them. But I've seen some cracking games against United, none better than the one where we denied them the league and Blackburn won it. We were relegated.
Well, we've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, we were relegated. And according to Alex Ferguson, you know, we played like our 11 men played like men possessed. He said it was just unbelievable what they were up against. So
that was Leeds that we put the block on them against. It was 92. Oh. Yeah, the Blackburn one was a couple of years later. That was when they were we played Manchester United at Upton Park. And it was a 1-1 draw. The one you're thinking about was a 1-0 win. Kenny Brown scored. So
I was actually thinking
Mr. Walsh, yes, you've noticed it. You said we'd done quite well against them recently, and then you look at our last 10,
which are perhaps not so much glittering.
Yeah, you can only notice 2 W's amongst the 10. What have we got there? That's 6 defeats and 2 draws as well. Not brilliant. I mean, the last game at the Bowling isn't amongst that, as you'll notice. The latest fixture was the 2nd of Jan 2017, which obviously precedes that wonderful, wonderful night. I was there with my daughter in the Bobby Moore Lower. When Winston Reid popped up in the 80th minute, put it in the onion bag past a flapping David De Gea. That's a long, long time ago now. That's over 10 fixtures ago because that's not in that list. That's not a great record there.
Yeah, but let's look at it another way. Okay, we've got something in 4 out of 10 games. 40% of the time we come away with something. Now, that's against a team like United. That's not bad. And last season, when we lost to them, the first half, we should have been 3 clear. We were unbelievable
battered
in that
them.
First half. Yeah,
well, and as Adam says, the ball was it the equaliser or was it the second goal? I can't remember.
Yeah,
but the ball that curled out from Henderson went out over the touchline, but it bent back in. Wasn't given as a throw in. They scored the goal from that. And it changed the course of the entire game.
Oh, it did, yeah. But the thing is, tomorrow, am I expecting us to win? No. Am I expecting us to draw? No. I'm hoping for a win or a draw, but I'm not expecting either. But what I do know is we're going to go out and give them a good game. And for years, we haven't. We've gone out and it's a case of, okay, how many are we going to lose by? And tomorrow, I feel we've got a chance to get something out of it, or at least stand toe-to-toe with them like we did with City at the Etihad and give it a good go. And that shows massive progress for me because I'm used to Man U, Man City, Liverpool coming down to us and just rolling us over as if we're not there.
I love this one from Stu Mack. 4 results out of 8 isn't bad if you look at recently. Pogba's pass skimmed Karen Brady's nose, and still the officials didn't reverse that goal.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure it got that close, Stu, but I take your point. I like the analogy. I really do. That's quality.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I'm not expecting anything from the game tomorrow at all. We're going to be tired after Zagreb. They've had 2 more days rest.
They have, yes.
I think.
Do you think Lingard's going to come on and score? It usually happens against us, doesn't it? It always happens against us. Former players come back and haunt us.
Well, the one thing is, if Lingard comes on, I think you'll get a great reception from us.
Yeah,
and rightly so. And rightly so. And would I be happy to see Jesse play against us? Yeah. I think he's a great player. He did great things for us.
Agreed.
And Moyes has actually come out and given the reason why we didn't get Lingard. You know, you had all the paper talk, but he said he spoke to Ole Gunnar Solskjær said, I'm not selling him. N. You know?
Yeah.
And Moyes stopped
which is their prerogative. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do I think we may still get Lingard? Yeah, I do actually. I think in January, it would be a good time for us to go for Lingard. And if he gets a rip-roaring reception tomorrow, which I really hope he does, that could be a big contributor to him wanting to come back to us, because he'll finally see how much the fans appreciated him.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously he hasn't played in front of a full stadium at London Stadium. I mean, he had the most he had was 10,000 at the Southampton game, wasn't it? So slightly different.
Even though he's a Man U player, he feels like one of ours, doesn't he?
Well,
it's a very strange thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's got, fundamentally he had not really an awful lot of future at the club before they signed Sancho and Ronaldo. I don't really see that he has a future now. But listen, I can understand he's a Manchester United fan. I can understand that there's an emotional tug. You know, I try and put myself in that spot. If I was at West Ham, if I was any good at football, you know, and I had a year left on my contract, and I thought, you know, there's half a chance. It's my boyhood club, blah, 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 blah. But I just don't see that he's gonna get a way in. I don't see that with the best will in the world, as great a player as I think Jesse Lingard was for us, I just don't see that he's gonna get in there starting 11 regularly enough. But there you go.
That shows you the difference between the clubs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A player as good as Lingard, an international, isn't permanently in their first team where he walks into ours.
Yeah.
And that's the difference in the size of the clubs. And it's just the way it is. If you support West Ham, you've got to look at it sometimes in the cold light of day and say, we are where we are.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I actually agree with that point that Stu's making there about Kufal and Cresswell pushing up high. And to be fair, last season, they were two of the most attacking fullbacks in the league, if not the most attacking fullbacks in the league. And I just think, don't change it. You know, just play your natural game. Let them worry about us for a change. Let's stop worrying, you know, thinking, oh, but if we do this, we're going to leave too much space in behind and blah, 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 blah. Let's just do what's got us to this position. Let's not change things. Let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's have a go at them. Everybody expects us to lose, you know, hand on heart. You probably expect us to lose, hand on heart. I probably expect us to lose on any, you know, if we played this fixture 10 consecutive times, we probably get the short end of it maybe 7 times. But maybe tomorrow is one of the 3 times that we don't.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And also, I think what is different is with this team Moyes has put out is, for the first time in a very long time, Man U have got something to think about. They can look at our team and think, right, we're going to have to show respect in that area. Whereas before, they didn't really.
We are a team to be respected now, aren't we?
Oh,
we're a proper team. We're not a team that the top 6 teams can look at and go, oh, that's 3 points. Yeah, because on a given day, if we turn up and we're firing, we're all on form, everybody's fit, everybody's available. Do you know what? Top 6 teams going to really have to roll their sleeves up to get 3 points off of us.
Yeah, and look how Southampton set up against us. I thought,
and look what they've done today.
Yeah, and I thought that was one of the biggest marks of respect we've had as a football club for a long time. They played to stop us playing. They didn't try and outplay us. And I thought, oh, this is different.
And they've done exactly the same thing at City today, which actually makes our point away at Southampton look a little bit better.
Well, it's like our draw against Palace. That actually looks a bit better as well. Okay, they've got beat today, but for the first half, I understand they've hit the post a couple of times. They look good.
Yeah. And of course, they got 3 points off of the Spuds last week.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
But I was watching the Everton-Villa game, and everybody was saying, oh, you know, Villa, they're going to struggle without Grealish. Too. Villa looked damn good in that game in the first half hour. So there's no easy fixtures now.
No.
And there are a lot of good teams. And if they're rolling up and showing us that sort of respect, we're on the up, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
should we get into my little nuggets of information?
Oh, yes. I'll
tell you what, this is a bumper crop. Normally, I've only got about 5 or so. I've got quite a few. I think I've got about 8, 10.
Oh.
You know, just for Man United. Just for Man United.
Oh, you can tell I'm excited already.
Well, okay, let's get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, my little nuggets of information. So, we have won 2 of our last 6 Premier League games against Manchester United, drawing 1, losing 3. And we are winless in our last 3 against the Red Devils. We had won just 1 of our previous 19 against them in the competition, drawing 5 and losing 13. That's painful, isn't it, Steve? That doesn't look great.
No, that's awful. But
not a good start, I'm afraid. Not a good start. But I don't write these little nuggets of information, people. I just find them out there on the internet and I bring them to you. I'm here to inform. I am just a conduit of information. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, go on.
Manchester United have won their last 2 Premier League meetings with us, last winning 3 in a row against us in September 2014. Ouch.
I'm surprised it's that long ago, to be honest.
We are unbeaten, however, in our last 7 Premier League games, winning 4 and drawing 3. That's better. Our longest run in the competition since a streak of 10 games between February and April 2016.
Wow.
Not bad. That was under Slav, I do believe, wasn't it?
I'm sure that was.
Yeah, that was. So... Next, Manchester United are unbeaten. This is impressive, this one. They are unbeaten in 28 Premier League away games. The longest ever run without defeat on the road in English League history. The Red Devils have conceded just 19 goals in this run and kept 13 clean sheets in the process. So we are going to need to be firing. And but I mean, that streak is going to be snapped at some point. All records are there to be broken, people. And just because they're unbeaten in 28 doesn't mean to say that by the time the 29th fixture has been concluded, they're still going to be unbeaten.
But isn't that a superb away record?
Oh, massively.
Oh, wow.
Massively.
And again, credit to them. You might have all the money in the world. You might be the biggest club in the world, but you still got to go and do it.
Yeah. And Walshy's just said it there, that every run must come to an end sometime. Exactly that, Walshy. Yeah. That streak is going to be broken at some point by a team. Why not tomorrow?
Can you imagine how happy we'll be and probably how drunk we'll be if we do win tomorrow?
Oh, it'd be a massive feather in the cap. No doubt about it. If we could be the team to break that run, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful.
So, after losing consecutive games against Tottenham and Arsenal last season, Manchester United are unbeaten in their last 16 Premier League games on Sundays, winning 11 and drawing 5. In Premier League history, the Red Devils have the highest win rate in Sunday games with a minimum of 10 games played at 55%, 163 out of 297. Ooh.
That's good.
They like playing on a Sunday.
Mind you, that stat does prove that Arsenal occasionally win.
Well, that's one way you could look at it, I suppose. Since leaving Manchester United in 2014, West Ham boss David Moyes has failed to win any of his 7 games against the Red Devils in all competitions, drawing 2, losing 5. Oh, no! What can you do? Since his debut for West Ham in September 2015, the Hammers have won 41% of their Premier League games in which Michail Antonio has started, 56 out of 137. And of course, he doesn't play tomorrow because he's suspended. And this is compared to just 28% when he doesn't start, 25 out of 90.
Oh,
yeah, that's not what I really want to hear.
No. These stats aren't looking good, mate.
No, like I say, I'm just a conduit. Manchester United's Cristiano Ronaldo was involved in 6 goals in his last 4 Premier League appearances against West Ham in his first spell in the competition. 5 goals, 1 assist. However, only against Chelsea, 4, has the Portuguese ended on the losing side in the Premier League more than he has against the Hammers with 3. A glimmer of hope.
Indeed.
Yes.
Ooh.
Last one. Manchester United's Paul Pogba has 7 assists in the Premier League this season, more than his previous 2 campaigns combined, which was 6. That's interesting. And a record 4 games into a campaign in the competition. Indeed, only 2 players have had as many as 7 assists in their team's first 5 games, and they were Thierry Henry in 04-05 and Harry Kane last season.
Yeah, well, I mean, we go on about Ronaldo playing and it's all about him. It's very easy to forget Pogba, another world-class player, is playing on that pitch as well. He turns up. You've got Ronaldo and Pogba to contend with. Ooh.
Well, Pogba, now here's the thing, right? I actually used Pogba in a little bit of investigating I did, because I wanted to know who was the most expensive midfielder in history, and it's Paul Pogba, central midfielder, central/defensive midfielder. The most expensive player in that position is Paul Pogba, when he went for what was then a world record of around about 90 million quid from Juventus to Manchester United in 2016. If you adjust that for inflation, it's basically 98 point something million. So, okay, let's say that the most expensive player in a central or defensive midfield role was around about 100 million when you adjust it for inflation. Now, I use that as a bit of a yardstick. I turn around and say, well, if you believe that Declan Rice now is better than Paul Pogba was in 2016, then Declan Rice is 100 million quid as a starting price, maybe more. So there you go. There is actually one more nugget of information. I do apologise. There is one more. Hold on. Here it comes. Manchester United's Jesse Lingard scored 9 goals in 16 Premier League appearances on loan at West Ham last season. The Hammers have had the most different players score both for and against them in the competition, with 46 excluding own goals, with Lingard potentially adding to this list. You just know it's going to happen, don't you? You just know that he's going to come on in about the sort of like the 75th minute, and he's going to score.
The winner.
Probably. Or at least an equaliser, last-minute equaliser to deny us all 3 points.
Well, there's nothing you can do about that, is there? If it happens, it happens. No. And we know the quality Jesse Lingard's got. As I say, he'd be a fantastic addition for us. And he would get in to our side. And it shows the gap, although that gap is narrowing. But it shows the gap between us and United that he can't get a starting place in the United side.
No.
But having said that, Man U did manage to lose to Young Boys with an outstanding assist by Lingard, wasn't it? So
yeah, I just think I can hear people sniggering when you turn around and say that Manchester United were beaten by Young Boys. I can hear everybody at the back of the class sniggering at that comment.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. Moving swiftly along.
But okay. But you just don't know. It's 90 minutes of football. Okay, we're going back in time to when, amnesia is now starting to set in. But in the cup final against Arsenal, we weren't given a monkeys. John Lyle outthought them, out-tacted them, I think that's the word, and we won 1-0. But everybody, and I mean everybody, had written us off. I remember my chemistry teacher, who was an Arsenal fan, waxing lyrical for half an hour in a chemistry lesson how Arsenal were going to absolutely hammer West Ham in the FA Cup final. Most of us were West Ham supporters, and come the following chemistry lesson, he told us all to be quiet, and he refused to talk about it.
Funny that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We've got a few of you watching on live chat. Right. You lot in the live chat that are watching live, jump into the comment section. I want you to give us your score predictions and your first goal scorer. Go. Come on. Help me out. Right. Okay. So, Steve, same to you, my friend. Talk to me. I want you to give me your prediction for tomorrow in terms of a scoreline and your first goal scorer. It could be for either team.
I think we'll keep it tight for about 60 minutes. I can't honestly see it going past. I think we'll lose 1 or 2-0, and I think Ronaldo will get the first goal. I just can't see it happening any other way.
Really?
But I think we'll keep it tight. I think we'll give them a game, and that's really what I want to see tomorrow.
Okay. Well, we've got Mr. Walsh. He's a believer. He's got 1-0 West Ham. Pablo Fornal's getting the goal. However, slightly more pessimistic, Wealdstone. 3-0 to Man United. Ronaldo, Fernandes and Greenwood. Oh no. Be. Couldn't you just left it at 1-0, Wealdstone? Couldn't you just gone 1-0? That would have been enough. No. Listen, if that's what you think, mate, that's what you think. Alex has just come in. To be honest, Manchester United will humiliate us. CR7 will ruin our back four. He could, Alex. I mean, to be fair, a 36-year-old Ronaldo could still make our back line look stupid if we're not on our mettle. But, you know, all things will remain equal. I think that if Declan Rice, if Kurt Zouma, Angelo Ogbonna are all on their A game, Ronaldo is not going to have it all his own way. I actually think that playing Fredericks is actually, in my opinion, key. I think if we can play Fredericks in front of Kufal, if we can play Fornals in front of Cresswell, you've got Declan Rice there, you've got Zouma and Ogbonna there. Good luck getting past that, Ronnie. And if you do, like I say, my hat's off to you, because that's not going to be easy. But we'll see. No Antonio, no Benny will struggle. Yeah, I mean, look, that is a miss, Wealdstone. I can't argue with you. That is a miss, but that's not necessarily going to, you know, there's going to be other players that are going to step up to the plate. This is going to be an opportunity for Bowen as a number 9. This is going to be an opportunity for Vlasic or Lanzini as the number 10, or possibly the right midfielder, whatever. And it's up to these players coming in that maybe are not first choice picks if everybody's sort of fit and firing. But it's up to these players to come in and grab that opportunity by the scruff of the neck and turn around to David Moyes and say, you see that performance I've just put out there against Manchester United? I've just got a man of the match performance there, by the way. I dare you to drop me next week when you bring Michail Antonio back, or you bring Saeed Benrahma back. I dare you to drop me. Let's see about that.
The other thing, Gatesy, is, and I mean, I know I need to mentally shift on this, but we're now a good side. For years we haven't been, but we now are a decent Premier League team. And that makes a difference to how you view it.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. Wealdstone, you say we won't win, and possibly we won't. Possibly we won't, but you have to believe. You have to believe. You have to go in with hope in your heart, as the Scousers song said. And I believe we can. I'm not saying I'm not going to sit here and say we will beat Manchester United, but do you know what? If we go into it with the we won't win mentality like that, then I'll guarantee you we won't win. Absolutely no chance if we go into it with the belief that we're not going to.
Oh, we can beat them. I just don't think we will. But it's absolutely possible.
Right, I'll see what you mean. Wilson's just corrected him. Yeah, of course we're not going to win every game, Wilson. No team does. You know, every dog has its day. And I agree with what Walshy says. Never say never.
No, exactly.
You know, it's the old saying, if you believe you can or if you believe you can't, either way, you're probably right.
Yep.
You know, I'm a big believer in that.
They'll go out with belief tomorrow. They'll go out. I mean, do you remember last season when we lost 2-1 at City and you got Kufal at the back after the game thumping the ground because he
was fuming, wasn't he?
Yeah, he honestly believed we could win it.
Yep.
And that's we have a winning mentality. So we're not going to roll over for them tomorrow. We're not going to go, oh yeah, come on, have 3 points. We're going to make them work for it.
Yeah. And that's all I want as a West Ham fan, Steve. Yeah. You know, if I appreciate exactly what Wealdstone says, we're not going to win every game. I accept that. I'm absolutely fine with that. But what I want is I want to at least see that when we don't, if the opposition get 3 points, I want that team to have earned those 3 points, Not that they were just handed it on a plate because we rolled over and said, "Here you go, tickle me tummy." That's not what I want. If you want that 3 points, do you know what? Meet me in the center of the ring. I'll try and take your head off. You'll try and take my head off, and we'll go at it. And may the best team win. And if we come up short, I've got no problem with that. But I want that opposition to fight for those 3 points and be made to work for it. That's all I want. Wilston, do you think Benny will be on the bench at best? I don't know. I mean, I've seen that, there's this knee injury that he picked up in the Zagreb game. I don't think he's going to be risked, Wilston, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think that he might be on the bench, but it depends. They'll probably leave it as a late fitness test. They'll probably leave it as late as possible because Benny's been so key to us this season in our offensive work. So I think that David Moyes will give him as much opportunity as he can to at least be involved in the matchday squad, if nothing else. And Ian Byford's just turned up. Welcome, Ian. Hope you're well. Roll on tomorrow. He goes 2-1 to West Ham. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, this is it. We could beat them 2-1, and I know we can. But like you said, as long as we put in a good performance, sometimes you just have to hold your hands up. And I know when I've been playing sport and say we played the best we could, but they were better, and that's okay. Because if you can't come to terms with that, you're always going to be miserable. Sometimes you are just going to get beat because somebody is too good for you.
Wilston, listen. If you do that, I would normally say, I want to see that, but actually, I don't. I really don't.
No, I think we'll go to the pub, Gatesy. I think that will be the move if Wilston does that.
Wilston, honestly, you don't have to do that, mate. I'll tell you what. If we win, at the following home game, you can come and meet me and you can buy me a beer. You don't need to risk getting arrested for indecent exposure or anything like that. Just come and buy me a beer or a rum and coke, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
Well, you can buy me a beer as well. I'm not that far away from you, Gates. So
there you go.
Don't keep it all yourself, mate.
2 for the price of 1, Wilston. Come on.
Indeed.
Before I'll give my score prediction. I think Ronaldo scores the opener. I think we go 1-0 down. I think we come roaring back. I actually think we go 2-1 up. And I think with about 5 minutes left, you know who's going to pop up and he's going to get the equaliser, Jesse Lingard. Oh. And it's going to finish 2-2. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Let's see. And do you know what? I'd actually, although I'd be disappointed with obviously at 2-1 up if that was to happen. And I've seen it happen before against Manchester United. I remember when Paul Ince got the equaliser at the Bowling Ground to make it 2-2. And it was one of them. It is one of those where you're like, we've just lost 2 points. But it's like, you're playing a quality team in Manchester United. Again, I say that with my West Ham specs firmly removed and being completely honest about it. Listen, they are a quality team. They're a team with a great pedigree, history, traditions, and all the rest of it. So we'll see. I reckon it'll be a 2-2 draw. I reckon we'll be battling. I reckon we'll be fighting. I reckon it'll be a dogged and determined performance from us. And if that is what we get, then listen, I can't complain. If we still got unbeaten in the Premier League against Manchester United, we've just finished a game against Manchester United, I'd be happy with that. In answer to your question, Terry, I've got no problem if Lingard celebrates it. In actual fact, do you know what? So long as he's respectful, so long as he doesn't come up to the West Ham fans and start sort of like doing that or anything like that, which I don't think he would in a million years.
No, a million years.
If he just sort of like wheeled away and he's doing that and he's being respectful, and we all know where the boundary is. I've got no problem with him celebrating. He's a Manchester United fan. He's a Manchester United employee. He was with us on loan for a couple of months, but if he scores against us, I've got no problem with him celebrating. I don't really see why anyone else would, so long as he's respectful, so long as he doesn't cross the line then I'm perfectly comfortable. And I don't think Jesse Lingard is, because I think that probably in the back of his head, he'd probably be thinking, do you know what? In a couple of months, I actually might be back here, as a permanent fixture. So I think if he scored, I think he'll celebrate. I think he should celebrate, but I think he should also be a little bit respectful. And I think he will be. I don't think there'll be a problem. So.
Oh, Gatesy, if I may interject, you missed a crucial comment there. Wilston suggested a beer and a curry.
Yes, he did. Now, and
I'm up for that.
Yep. It's there in writing, Wilston. You can't back out now.
Yeah. Cool, yeah. He'll have to put up with both of us in real life for an hour. I mean, you don't know what you're taking on here, Wilston.
I know what he looks like, Wilston. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for, old son.
Thank you so much, my friend. I thought the surgery went quite well, personally.
The bills. Right.
At least,
okay.
I really feel I need to make a hippo comment there, but I'm above such things.
Don't you start? I can do that. I can do. He's back. But no, listen. I'm going to wrap it up there, Steve, and I thank you very much indeed for your time. You guys that are in the live chat, please don't forget about this campaign for this young girl, Lila. You know the score, and if you don't, allow me to tell you, she's a 6-year-old girl. She has a cancer that cannot be treated in this country. Her family have got to raise the funds for the treatment, flights to and from wherever it is in the world, which is usually either the United States or Barcelona. This is a very, very stressful and expensive experience, and the family are really needing our help. So please, if there's one thing you do, all we ask you to do, the information on this banner is in the description below Facebook and YouTube. You can copy this and paste it onto your social media platform, along with a little note as to what the appeal is all about. And please let your followers know. Now, if you feel that there's a couple of quid you could contribute to this particular fighting fund, the Just Giving link is there. Don't let me stop you. That's all we're asking you to do, guys. Just a little bit of help for a family that's in need, a little girl who is really, really struggling, literally fighting for her life at such a tender age. If you've got a family, I'm sure you can empathize with the situation. Please give this family your support. And I thank you very much indeed for your attention as always. So, Steve, there is where I shall end it. And we shall reconvene at some point post-match to discuss the aftermath as well.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on, Gatesy. Thanks for everybody for listening as usual. And come on, you Irons.
And thanks, Wealdstone, for your offer that if we win, you're treating me and Steve to a curry and a beer. We've talked you out of running around Westfield naked because we're nice like that. And it may well be that we
service by eating that.
I think so.
Having a beer.
I think so.
I feel so.
And don't forget, guys, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when we upload it to the channel. Mr. Walsh, as always, you are more than welcome, my friend, and thank you very much indeed for coming along, and all you live chat gremlins as well. Thanks very much indeed for your company. And there's only one thing left to state, is there not, Steve?
Yep. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.